And now here's a look at how we did both of these stories. And the one we showed you at 4 o'clock, the idea was to teach high school students the way television news works and the amount of thought and effort that goes into each story we do.
Our broadcast director, Jesse Garcia, takes us behind the scenes, starting with the very first day the students arrived.
All right, everyone, welcome to TMJ4. Come on in.
8 students and 1 teacher from Wauwatosa West High School arrived on a December day to take a tour of our building.
2 radio stations and the TV station in the same building.
We settled into a conference room to discuss story ideas. It was important to tell a story that they wanted to tell, something that had meaning for teenagers. After brainstorming, we went on to see some professionals in action.
Other than that, eastbound 94 between the zoo and downtown, that's actually looking pretty good now.
Students watched a live traffic report on WTMJ radio, then went to the TV newsroom.
So if you look up on the board up here, that's going to show you what stories we're covering today.
From seeing the teleprompter and newsroom camera to meeting the anchors.
You might recognize Carol Meekins.
Oh, how are you guys doing?
And Steve Shamraz.
It was a jam-packed day 1. 1 week later, we spoke again, this time via Google Hangout.
Hi.
Students had been tasked with setting up their stories.
We all have our people, and they all said that they are willing to sit down with us for an interview.
The first story we would shoot was on the rising cost of college.
You're in charge.
In late December, we traveled to 2 houses to meet 2 local college students. The Tosa West students did the interviewing and wrote the story afterwards with some guidance from us at TMJ4. Our second story was shot at Tosa West High School and focused on how young people were feeling about the upcoming Democratic National Convention happening in their area.
How do you think the DNC will impact the city of Milwaukee and the area around it?
Students then joined us for the final edit session. Through the whole process, these young people learned a ton about how news gathering and reporting are done.
How much work really just goes into a really short feature story that you would see on the news at night.
You have to think about what you're doing. You have to think about the background. You have to really think about everything that's going on.
It's not always you're on the camera. You're actually like she said, you're always putting in extra work behind the camera.
In the end, I saw how it all pieced together, and I thought how complex it is makes it pretty beautiful, I'd say.
I think that by making something on the news, it teaches you how that gets put together, and I think it makes you a far more sophisticated consumer of the news or the information that you're consuming.